Hello and welcome to my review of Faster, the new action film starring Dwayne Johnson and Billy Bob Thornton. You just got done eating your stuffing. Now let's watch Dwayne Johnson stuff some motherfuckers full of lead. Pardon my French, of course. This is a family show. But not today. Faster centers on a tough-as-nails, revenge-fueled ex-con played by Dwayne Johnson, who's out to kill the men who killed his brother and screwed him over. Oh, and Billy Bob Thornton's in it too. This is a very straightforward film, and that's what I was really looking forward to, is that we were finally going to get just a good, hardcore action film that wasn't going to get too focused on a lot of characters and just kind of be a fun revenge film. That's what I was looking forward to. What I got was actually something a little more thoughtful than what I was expecting, but it also seriously slowed down my expectations. The best way I can describe this film is that it's like being on a roller coaster and then someone pulls the brake. It starts out fantastic. The Rock, the whole film has a very old school feel to it. They don't even give the characters names. Plot is kind of thin. And that opening scene, The Rock walks out of jail, man of few words, goes to the junkyard, unwraps this just badass muscle car, goes out, struts into an office and blows a guy's face off. You're just elevated by it. You're like, yes, this is what I wanted to see The Rock do. This is everything I wanted to see in this film. Unfortunately, the film gets a little too bogged down in introducing supporting characters, which I'm fine with, but they kind of overshadowed The Rock. And these two main supporting characters who I'm talking about are Billy Bob Thornton, who plays the detective chasing after him, who I've never liked. I just really despise Billy Bob Thornton in anything, so maybe that's partially why. But I thought they gave him a little too much meat on his story. And then there was the assassin who was chasing after him, who had an interesting plot arc, but I think he could have been used in another film, and not this film, because the film that we wanted to see was The Rock offing people, and The Rock is just great in this film. This is what I've wanted to see The Rock do all these years that he's been in these other films like The Tooth Fairy and The Game Plan and Race to Witch Mountain. We didn't want to see that. We wanted to see him play a badass, and in this film, he absolutely delivers. His physical presence, his man of few words, he's a great action presence, and I think in a couple more films, he could be up there with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis, and just all these great action heroes. He could be in that same league if they give him a better script. This is one guy you do not want to screw with. But with all that said, like I was starting to say before, the film just gets too bogged down in its subplots. And what I wanted to... I don't need to see the cop chasing after him. I don't want to see the development of that character. I want to see this guy, The Rock, just go through these killers and just have him face off against one guy after another. Maybe a little... If you're going to develop any of the characters, develop the killers, which they were starting to do with the assassin. But what I wish they would have done instead of had one interesting character is that all of the people that he's mainly going after are throwaway characters, and they're not very imposing people. But if the filmmakers had developed his targets as real characters instead of focusing on the other ones, then this could have been a stronger film. And also make his targets more imposing, because the ones that he went up against, he took down very easily. You don't really get any satisfying hand-to-hand fight scenes or shootouts in this film. It's like I said, it's a very old school film, and I get the feeling a lot of people may like that. But for me, I just wanted at least one character that could physically square off against The Rock for more than 10 seconds, because it just feels kind of disappointing when you see these people go down so fast. And you could have done that while making them real characters, which there was definitely an attempt to do here, but I just think it didn't quite go through as it should have. However, I do like how the film explored the themes of revenge, and there's one scene towards the end that I'm not going to ruin it, but it involves how one of the killers has become a preacher, and he's kind of moved on with his life and found religion and hope in his life, and the scene between him and The Rock is pitch perfect. And I just wish I just wish the movie had powerful scenes like that all stretched throughout, mixed with better action scenes. But overall, this is a solid, if unspectacular, launching pad for The Rock back into action films. Hopefully he'll do a couple more, kind of increase the action level in each film. This is not a bad film. I kind of like what they were doing. It was well directed, well acted for the most part. But I just wish that they had focused on the characters that had really mattered and delivered an even more solid revenge story. 2.5 stars out of 4 for Faster. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, because there's going to be plenty of videos coming up soon.